Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt, and what do we do here? We do a bunch of different things on the channel. We mainly talk about beer because beer is awesome. Let me adjust my mic so you guys can hear me. Yeah, we mainly talk about beer. We talk about a couple different things. So, sometimes we talk about life in general and what's going on and this, that, and the other thing. And a year ago today, St. Patrick's Day. So, what up to all my Irish peeps out there? I am 50% Irish. A year ago today, talked about my son Micah. Micah was born May 17th, 2021. And that was probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I mean, that was cool, but everything since then was cool. We just had a little birthday dinner and gave him a little cupcake with a little candle on it. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's kind of like some of the best times of my life in the past year. So much has changed. Just from, me being a dad, that in of itself changed. But, the mindset of what what I prioritize in life and how I approach things has changed drastically, getting a little bit healthier, just kind of being super motivated to make my house a home. Not that it ever was, it always was, but, I have a home theater, kind of thing. And I have this room and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just tearing it all down. I'm going to build that shed I was talking about, an office shed, and put all my electronics and DJ equipment and home theater, put all that stuff in here. And converting, we live in an apartment attached to a large house. It's a farming house. So just taking this and making this what we live down here into just like more of a home. And it's coming along pretty damn awesome. So I'm super pumped. Super epically pumped. Oh. What up, Clayton? Yeah, Clayton's up in the chat. What up? Change is good, son. Yes, it is, sir. And, some things change, some things don't. I'm still doing beer reviews, albeit at a much slower pace than previously. I have a few in the can, so I may bump it up a little bit more just to get rid of some stock, but it's not a ton. But one of the things I kind of created, invented in my head leading up to my son being born was this beer right here. That'd be Old Stock 2021. I had this idea that I would review a singular beer that was created the year my son was born. And on his birthday, every year, I will review that beer. And then we'll take that journey together over a span of 21/2040 years. Because there's 24 in the case, obviously. But actually, I don't have 21 left. I drank a couple, so I got to get another case because I just enjoyed this beer so much. Regardless, I figured I'd find a beer, pick it up, and drink it every year, basically, on March 17th. Am I going to be doing this till he's 21? I don't know. Will he want to share a beer with me when he turns 21? Because that's the whole... Or when the legal drinking age he reaches. If he wants to share a beer, he's going to review it with me together if he feels comfortable doing that. Regardless, I think I'm going to do this every year. And I'm actually blown away and surprised that it's been 1 year. That's just blowing my head. Just the fact that it's been a year since my kid was born. And I'm doing this review. So if you're watching this, I implore you, go watch last year's review. It's a little bit after the 17th because he was born on the 17th. So by the time he got home from the hospital, you know how that works. And just, type in North Coast 2021, and we're going to do this every year, hopefully on the 17th. Obviously, some stuff come up, might not be exactly on the 17th. But when I can, I'll do them live and I'll do them day of. And I picked this beer specifically because I think North Coast Old Stock is one of the best ageable beers on the market. A lot of people kind of think a lot of beers are ageable. They're not. There's actually, I would say, a few that are really truly ageable and for the long haul good. You know what I mean? And aging a barrel aged pastry stout 1 or 2 years might improve it in some form or fashion. I'm talking about, beers that are actually going to gain goodness with time. Those beers tend to be, just bottle conditioned for core four beers, like 120, this beer, Hardy's, JW Lee's, those kind of beers tend to age pretty fantastically. And I have access to North Coast Old Stock. It's not overly expensive. It's actually less than $100 for a case of it. It's in the 80s, I think it is, $87 for a case. So that's not too shabby. And like I said, it changes drastically. And over time in such a beautiful way. So I picked this one up with that intention of doing that review every year. And I was like, okay, in my mind, I was like, we're going to do North Coast Old Stock, and the first ones are going to be a little bit rough first couple of years because they can be good out of the chute, but more often than not, they do need a bit of time before they really kind of take on their a good personality. This beer was fan-freaking-tastic out of the gate. So I am like super pumped that one, this is a great year, and I'm just really, really curious to see how this is kind of held up over time. Like I said, I've had a couple over the year, but it's been before fall was the last time I had one. And yeah, I think I've talked long enough. We're about 6 minutes in. I wanted people to kind of have time to kind of climb into the review. Take a little sip of my hazy. Let's dive into sucker. So, for those that don't know, this is from North Coast Brewing Company, Fort Bragg or Petaluma. Where are they? Yeah, Fort Bragg, California. This is their 2021 North Coast Old Stock Ale. So they classify it as a stock ale. I think it really has more to do with a barley wine, but you're kind of just English barley wine is what you're thinking here. So you're kind of hemming and hawing there. It's 11.2%. And that's pretty much all you get on the bottle itself. They tell you to drink it out of like a kind of like a Trappisty kind of chalicey glass. I am going with my grandma snifter. And by grandma snifter, I mean my grandma literally gave me these like flowery snifters. I love this glass shape for barley wine. So that's what I use every time. And yeah, label's classic. They've changed it over the years, but the whole vibe of the beer has stayed pretty on brand. So let's crack in a sucker. See what's going on. Jump in the comments too. Clayton hammering us hard. Happy birthday, Micah. Drinking the Juicy Bits for the first time. Nice. What do you think? Alarmist? Is that Juicy Bits? Alarmist? Or I think is it cerebral maybe? Clayton says, had an 07 Old Stock last Saturday. Lot o' brown sugar. That's for show. And my boy Remy, Beer Geek Holland, says happy B-Day to the old Micah. So yeah, let's give this sucker a pour and see. Let's get the flowers out the way where we're tracking. So out of the gate, when I poured this beer originally, I was very, very surprised about how dark it was. Not that it's not going to be a darker beer, as you can see, but it was just quite a bit darker than what I had expected. And I would say this is just a hair darker than that now. You have that nice, the 3/4 of a pinky finger of that kind of khaki-ish leaning towards malt ball colored head. And yeah, not all that turbid. There's a bit of particulate floating around in there. You guys are not going to be able to see that, or maybe you will. This camera can focus pretty tight. Yeah, you can see a little bit of those bits and pieces floating around there. I'm sure StreamYard is downsampling this to where you can't. But it's starting to get a little bit more chunkier haze going on. That's kind of the good stuff. When this reaches, if let's say we get to year 21 on this, is going to be quite dark and quite murky, but definitely looks the part. A nice kind of younger English barley wine. Look at that head just kind of pop back. Just swirl a couple times. Boom. Let's get a nose. I mean, what Clayton said about the 07, he said they got a lot of brown sugar. That's typically, the core. A lot of English barley wines, to be honest with you, but more specifically, North Coast Old Stock definitely leans heavily into brown sugar. But it's tempered here a bit. There's very much, I'm curious too, I must interject. I did not watch my old review. I wanted to go in this without remembering what I said in that, but I'm going to say a lot of similar things. I think I'm getting a very big wet tea bag vibe off of this. this. So there is a bit of hops left in here, a little herbally hoppiness, nothing too big. It's nowhere in that kind of American barley wine, American old ale style of beer. To get the brown sugar, but there's a little bit more complexity to it. It's just not like a brown sugar, or not just a burnt brown sugar. There's like it's kind of that creme brulee-ish, a less sweeter version of creme brulee. That's the way the kind of sweetness comes off in the beer, with that little bit of tannic kind of wet tea bag kind of vibe. And that honestly is just about it. There's a complexity to the sweetness. There's a depth to the way that tea bag comes off. I don't want to say there's singular notes. I don't want to make that come off that way. But yeah, it smells pretty damn good. So I could huff that all night long. Anyway, I'm just going to dive in. Cheers, y'all. It's so good. It's so good. It is very much brown sugar on the taste. Sweet. It's supposed to be. It's almost 12% old ale, stock ale. Oh, stock ale more than old ale, but more specifically English style barley wine. I don't hate the sweetness level on this. You know, you're getting what you pay for here. You're getting 12% worth of sweetness, so it's not like it's cloying. It just has this big sweetness for that is appropriate for the style of beer. That tannic tea bag thing is really cool. It comes off a little bit kind of old hop, like not Ghosts of Hops Past, but aged hopped. But it does have a decent bittering that it doesn't get to the point where it's like resinous or piney. It actually adds more of a drying component to it. That's a part of the alcohol burning off too. When you get that drying component that doesn't get too resinous, doesn't get too West Coasty, but it's still bittering. It reminds me a lot of a heavily oaked beer. So you're getting a nice dry, a perceptually dry finish on what is inherently a very, very sweet beer. That's one of the beautiful parts about this fresher version of old stock. Usually it's missing that bitter component. Usually it's less bittering than this, but a bit sweeter. A little bit more hard candy sweetness. Like I said, this is like a creme brulee kind of sweetness. The year previous, probably burnt brown sugar kind of sweetness. You're getting that marriage between the way that both that bittering kind of comes off and that sweetness, and it just interplays together so well. It's just, you know, like I said in last year's review, what I remember saying in last year's review about this being like one of the best, if not the best, old stock that I've ever had fresh. I'm reminded why I said that last year. Speaking of the devil, who's that on the door? He can come in if he wants. He can come in. We're going to get a surprise appearance. What are you doing? Not you. There's Taco. That's not a surprise. Micah, don't play with the power drill. Come here, bud. Not you, Taco. Micah, come here. Come here. Come here. Micah. Micah. Okay. Here you go. Oh. He was banging on the door when I was doing a review. He was trying to get it. No, you can't have this. This is Daddy's. You had a good birthday today? Did you like the cupcake Grandma made you? You like my Rare Barrel bottle opener? Yeah? You trying to open Daddy the bottle opener? Yeah. But yeah, man, this beer is so good out of the chute. I'm absolutely blown away about how tasty it is. Right, bud? Yeah. It's a big beer. Yeah, but it's like sitting here and just like seeing how this grows. Like, not to like try to associate everything with beer, but it's a beer channel, so we'll do that. You want to get down and go get mommy? Oh, ahead. Off you go. Do not play with the power drill, Micah. It's not. There's no drill in it. It's just a power. It's like a cheap Black & Decker. It'll be whatever. Anyway, the to see kind of how beers like kind of change and grow over time, you're gonna see that happen with your kid. It's just such a crazy thing, and to kind of pair these up, it's like the ultimate pairing. People do food pairings, cheese pairings, and all this kind of stuff. Here comes mommy. Oh, you can barely see her on the edge of the camera. Now she's angry. Taco out. Thank you, babe. And it's gonna be cool, kind of doing that journey together. You know, watch my kid grow up. Listen, if there's no beer involved, it's gonna be a great thing. But to actually, do that in symmetry, watch this beer grow, watch my kid grow, go back and forth, and kind of, a lot of times throughout our life, like music, you have these experiences in life, and when you're having this awesome experience or bad experience, doesn't matter. If there's a song playing or there's a food involved or a smell involved and stuff like that, those things trigger, kind of trigger memories for you. You hear this song and you think about a time you fell in love, or you got broken up with and you're having a meal, and that's when you got broken. So you eat that, and that triggers that flash memory to kind of pop in and kind of remind you of that. And it's so vivid when it happens. Is I'm curious to see if that happens here. To see, birthdays were never a big deal for me. When you're younger, they're the biggest things in the history of mankind. You're getting older. It's very important. Now I'm old. I don't want to get any older. But they're going to be a big deal for me, for him. It's going to be a big deal for him and me. And I'm curious to see if I continue to do this, if there will be some kind of recall, some flash recall on it, and be like, not just, I remember this beer that 4 or 5 years ago when I had this, it tasted like this. It'll be like, 4 or 5 years ago, it tasted like this, and this is what we did that day. It's just going to be a cool experience in general with a really cool beer. Like, I honestly, just to get back to the beer portion of the show, I can't kind of applaud and love this beer any more than I love it right now. That's not true. I'm going to love it even more with every year. But at its age point, and that's what I was trying to make, at a year-old old stock does not usually drink this well. It doesn't. And if it's going to be this good now, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in the future. It's just going to age so beautifully. I can see this turning into all-time level, 1994 Thomas Hardy. That was for me, 94 was 86, 94, 98, and even 2006, 2008, right before they stopped making it, ended up being really nice right around this time. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good, and it's like I said, it's a cheaper beer. What would I say? Let's say it's $90 for the case. We're talking about, what does that break down to? Teens for a 4-pack. If you buy them at a 4-pack level, but man, it's such a great ageable beer. So good. Let's toss the dregs in there, see if it changes anything. Good God. Anyway, comments. Let's not forget about the comments. Clayton. Oh, WeldWorks. That's what it is. WeldWorks does jerky bits. Juicy bits. Logan Bowles. What's going on, homie? Logan comes here and comments on my beer reviews and I go on Instagram and just drool over all the photos he takes of sports and NFL players. So I can't believe, I want your job, dude. Happy birthday, Micah. Just snagged some 2020 Old Stock Cellar Reserve Brandy Barrel. I actually saw that on a shelf. Where did I see it? I love Cellar Reserve. I think it's really tasty. There has been some hit or miss years. But I think it's an just review. Oh, when I did the Micah beer, I did a side-by-side with the 2017, didn't I? I think they're fantastic. There have been a couple years have been wonky, but 2009 was the best. But I'm curious about this one. I saw it on the shelf. I'm going to pick it up. I'll pick it up and review it. I hope you're doing well, brother. Remy is saying, P.S. drinking the St. Bernard strip right now. Cheers, Micah. Cheers to you, brother. Will Coils is at 0% Guinness. Will messed me yesterday. He saw Guinness draft non-alcohol on the shelf. So I am going to have to go out and find that, pick it up, and review it. So Clayton, Sensory Association. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, brother. Andrew W., how's the shed progressing? It is and it isn't. So I cleared all that area. You saw the video about that, but I went out there and actually like cleared it and broke down everything, like brought out all the brush, chopped down the stumps to a manageable level to where they can be pulled easily, raked that whole area clear. I talked to, or let's say what else we've done. So I got all the electrical wire I need to run a sub panel to it. Fucking 200 feet, man. 270 feet. That is not cheap. I got a little lumber for the foundation, for the gravel bed foundation. I got the gravel delivered. And what else did I buy? Little knickknacks and things like that. I had a guy down the street come over and kind of quote me on helping me level the area, and basically level the area with like a skid steer, and help me like, and then I'd frame out the base, and then he'd help fill in the stone, all that stuff. And that was like a month ago. And a week and a half went by. He texted after he left. A couple days later, he texted me kind of like a recap of what we talked about. Let me know what you want to do, blah 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 blah, and we'll do it. And then a week and a half later, I texted him back. I was like, okay, I got all my plans set. I'm like, I got the here's the area. I took pictures of it and had it framed out. And I'm like, I'm gonna stake it and line level it. That's basically so you can see how much you have to dig and stuff like that. And sent him a bunch of stuff, and that was 2 weeks ago. And he just emailed me 2 days saying, sorry, man. He's like, I thought you passed on the job. And he's like, all my machines are committed to elsewhere. I was like, really, dude? Because I want to start next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So now I got to find somebody else to help me do it. I can rent one and just do it myself. But if I rent one and do it myself, it's going to cost like $300. If I have somebody come here with a skid steer and help me out, it's probably going to cost me $300. I don't have to move the machine. I have an extra hand of labor. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to go that way. And so I literally about 20 minutes before, not even, I went on this video here. I actually put out a thing on Facebook, the local regional page, asking for recommendations for somebody to come over. So that's what we're waiting on. Basically, I have to dig a trench for the electrical. It's been too cold still. We're supposed to be in the 60s for the next several days, probably for the rest of the year, now till next fall. At least high temperatures of 60s, and it doesn't really get below it's freezing, so I got to wait for the ground to kind of be a little bit more manageable. So I got to dig that trench and do the foundation. Once that's done, the shed can be delivered. They haven't called me saying it's ready for delivery, but that should be next week. So we'll see what's what. After that is done and the electrical goes in, then it's full bore. You're going to start seeing a lot of videos because I haven't really had much to make a video about right now. And you'll see full bore stuff because I'm going to put in all the electrical. I'm going to get a split AC heater unit, put that in there, run cabling, wiring, internet, drywall, insulation, flooring, painting, lights, camera action, all that fun stuff. So it's going to come out really well. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, it is going to be what you see here is basically all going in there, and then my home theater is going in there. So it's going to look similar but different, but it's going to be really cool. I'm pumped to do it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Will Coyle saying happy birthday, Micah. Clayton saying my kid's in that mode where he wants to be outside every second, every minute of every hour. We logged 6 miles in the stroller. Damn. Let's see. It says happy birthday, little man, Matt. Chill with cat. Oh, okay. What's going on, homie? If he falls asleep in the stroller, gets home, takes a nap, wakes up and starts grabbing my shoes, bringing them to me and trying to put his shoes on. Yeah, man. We're close as far as Micah goes. He's not walking yet. So we're at 1 year old, but extremely large kids take a little bit longer to walk, and he like kind of gets up and gets down, gets up. He hasn't really taken any steps. He's like wants to walk, and like he'll like walk along the edge of the sofa, but then like he'll go to like transition and like totally just let go and like rotate, take a step, and then grab something. You know what I mean? So he's like this close, this close. So I'm terrified for when he starts walking. He's gonna be running everywhere. Oh, but no, man, this beer is absolutely fantastic. Like if you drink this 2021 Old Stock, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But that means you just don't like this style. It's not like it's a bad beer. It's not made badly. It's made fantastically. If you don't like this, you either one, don't appreciate or understand the style and don't like it, which is fine. People like what they like. Some people like cucumber pickle. Or there's some people like super high money ticker guy, like the guy, the razzle guy, the guy that all he cares about is like getting rare and expensive beer. He wants like he's like, oh, it doesn't taste as good as a 20-year-old Thomas Hardy. Be like, no fucking shit, dude. It's not 20 years old. Or someone's like, I had this beer that was a barley wine that was aged in Sazerac barrels for 45 years, and like whatever, dude. You're talking about the Core 4 bottle condition, old stock ale / English barley wine. It doesn't really, honestly, get much better than this young. I have to keep expressing this. You take this beer, you put it in a bourbon barrel for 3 years, it's going to be exponentially better. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this beer. And it is effing delicious. Can't wait for next year, man. Good. What? Did 1 at 0. This is 1 at 2, or 1 at 1. So that means we got, if the drinking age stays 21 in the United States, we got 20 more of these to go. Yeah. How about that? So there you go. Review is over. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. We went through a whole 26, probably 30 minutes by the time we're off here. A bunch of people jumping in the comments. Clayton being the star of the show here. It says, well, enjoy while you can. He'll be running soon. Yes, he will. And cheers to my boy, man. He made it. That was not staged, I guarantee it. It just, sometimes I close my door here so he can't get back in here because, you know, my room's not dirty, but this is not the nicest. But he knows I'm in here, so he comes in and bangs on the door. So that was a nice little kind of impromptu visit from the man himself. So there you go. So, this is definitely up there. It's Mount Rushmore level stuff for very old or very young green English barley wine. Very hard to find stuff that drinks this nice so young. So it's definitely up there for that. Just you guys tell me what you think. You know, like I had a bunch of people talk about, old stock, the barrel aged version, older versions of this, vintages, stuff like that down there. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on this beer? If you like this, what other beers in this kind of vein do you like? Is there a specific English barley wine or stock ale that you really enjoy that I don't know about that I need to get my hands on? And if you want specific vintages of the barrel age version, I can get all of them essentially, except for 2009 because I bought all of them and drank them already. If you want me to cover that, let me know. I guess who said Logan said he got the 2020 Cellar Reserve. I will go find it and I will review it for you, brother. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little review here. Beer Matt, no, what's going on? Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little review. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little bit of old stock right now. Hopefully you're doing your own thing with your own family. Hopefully, we see you again next year. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.